We're looking at part of our shelter project on Oahu, where we have 12 domes set up in Kahalu, or they're on the verge of being set up, probably 2 weeks away from our building permit. And we're housing 9 families, women with children, 2 domes for restrooms and another one for a live-in manager. I think it's good for anyone looking for a solution for shelter for homeless. It's very versatile, easy to put up, take down. Price points are very efficient, multi-use, so let's say you eradicate the problem of homelessness on the Big Island, you can reuse them for other things. They last 20 to 30 years, they don't rust, flexible to put down and take up. So it gives people a sense of privacy, and once we have it decorated, you'll see how cozy and like a home that it becomes. Well, being that we are a church, First Assembly of God, God commands us to do to the least of these, so, as we are doing unto Him. And so that means taking care of these keikis and single mothers that are having a hard time. So rather than just feed them, we wanted to contribute to a more longer term solution. So Pastor Cole, our senior pastor, was downloaded this vision from God that the shelter in form of these domes was a possible solution for churches to participate. We have a collaboration of churches on Oahu. So we have a New Hope Church, Inspire Church, and other non-denominational churches that are sponsoring a dome in our 12-dome community. The reason why we chose Kahalu is we own a church there. So we were the owner of the property, and we had a parcel of land that would fit 12 domes. We had to go through the neighborhood board there, Kahalu Neighborhood Board. They're very supportive. Of course, they had legitimate questions about security and the type of people, but it's a faith-based program, so the participants would have to be drug-free, alcohol-free, and understand that this is a faith-based program that they subscribe to. So we feel that the housing is just a temporary thing for homeless people. We need to have a transformation of heart, which is why we have a faith-based program to address homelessness.
I flew all the way from Alaska to watch these guys put this up today, and to meet the mayor yesterday at the Multi-Faith Conference. It was a real honor to meet Mayor Kim. He was a passionate speaker about wanting to help the homeless here on the island. What you see behind me here is called an inner shelter dome. It's as mobile and portable as a tent, goes up as fast as a tent, as you can see behind me. Yesterday it went up in 1 hour and 20 minutes. Once it's up, it'll take a 200-mile-an-hour wind and a 30-foot snow load. They're basically, once they're completely up and anchored, they're indestructible. There's a lot of uses on the islands. Glamping is a very big, booming industry. We have resorts from the South Pole to Thailand, the South Pacific. We're doing a big military operation down in Kwajalein Island. They're all over Alaska for hunting and fishing lodges, both private and commercial. We're in all 7 of Parks Canada, Arctic parks along the Arctic Ocean. They're bear-proof. You're not allowed to carry guns in Canada. I know you don't have bear problems in Hawaii, but in northern Canada, when you got a polar bear wants to have you for lunch, it's a big deal. And we had a couple of rangers caught in one of these a couple of years ago, and a 10-foot polar bear never could get in. But the main reason this is here right now is I got a call a couple of years ago from Pastor Ko from Honolulu, and he and his church, he had a vision about trying to help the homeless crisis in Oahu. In fact, he was asked by Mayor Caldwell to do what the faith-based community could do to help. And you'll see this in all of his interviews and articles. He prayed to God about what he could do to help the homeless, and he had a vision. And in that vision was the word shelter, which is part of our name. And he went to the computer and typed in shelter, and our website popped up, and the shape that he saw in this vision was this. And he called me, actually Pastor Dan called, and he'll tell you this story, and said, "Hey, you got a minute?" He goes, "My pastor had a vision about how we could help the homeless in Hawaii, and we think you could be part of that answer. Would you come and see us?" And I said, "It's February in Alaska. Of course I'll come see you." I was here 2 days later. So now they've got, they own 13 of these. They're putting 12 of them up on their private church property on Oahu. It's all privately funded through their congregation, and there's several other churches involved. Yesterday at this event, there was over 100 churches there participating. And we just got rave reviews. I mean, they really see the use of these things. The reason it's good for Hawaii is they're land yachts. It's fiberglass and stainless steel, just like these $1 million yachts bobbing around down here in your harbor. So there's no maintenance ever, zero. There's no rust, no termites, no bugs, and it's made for this salty, wet weather. I come from where it rains 200 inches a year in Alaska, so I know wet weather. This is the Igloo. In fact, it is an igloo. And you know, the indigenous people of the world, although they weren't made of fiberglass, have been living in buildings of this shape since millennium. You know, in Africa they made them of straw. In Alaska they made them of ice and muskeg. The dome is the strongest structure on the planet. This will take a 30-foot snow load. I know that's not an issue in Hawaii, but a 30-foot snow load is just astronomically strong. But any engineer or architect that will tell you that the first thing they learn in Architecture 101 is the strongest building on the planet is a dome. That's why the ancient Romans used them, and they're still there. And one of the great things about that for Hawaii, if you use the white one, is it's so bright you can see it's gel coated like a boat, like a yacht. It reflects a lot of the heat of the sun. So on a 90-degree day with the sun shining on it, it's only 75 degrees inside the dome, naturally. No air conditioning, no insulation. This is really just an opportunity for this community and its leaders to take a look at it and see what it's all about. Everybody seems to have heard of them. We've had many articles in the papers in Honolulu and here, and a lot of interviews like this on ABC, CBS, NBC. A single unit retail, I mean, if somebody just wanted to put it in their backyard for their son or their mother-in-law or whatever, they run about $12,000 for a unit like this with 2 windows and a door. But for quantity discounts and also humanitarian efforts like the church effort, I've dropped that down to $9,500 a unit. And you can't touch that for stick-built anything. Those tiny houses that are all the rage now, those are all $75,000, $80,000 a piece. And they're less square footage than these. Those are usually around 250 square feet. This one is 320 square feet on the floor. But because you got a 12-foot ceiling and it's all usable in there, it's 1,290 cubic feet of usable space. So you can put kitchens, bathrooms, sleeping lofts, living areas, dining areas. You'll see when it's up, you'll walk in and you'll be stunned at how big it is. Is this the total answer? No. But can we make a difference here? I guarantee you that any family that has an opportunity to live in this as opposed to a tarp will be blessed, and they will thank whoever it is that helps them get into it.